Hey, I wanted to share something because I've come to realize that a lot of things that I've gone through in my life as an adult, a lot of my bad choices and decisions were based on how horrible my family was to me as a child. With me being dark skinned and my big forehead and my nappy hair and how, the dark spots on my gums and all of that stuff was something I was often ridiculed for and made up for by second cousins, which means older than me. My grandmother used to pinch my nose to shape it because it was too wide, make comments about me being outside, getting darker. I was constantly being made fun of and ridiculed by my family. I didn't experience too much racism growing up. I wasn't put down by white people, even though for a lot of my years I grew up in all white areas. Like they actually showed me the most compliments. But I grew up hating myself, disliking myself, avoiding looking in the mirror because of the things that my family at home, extended cousins, and like I said, my second cousin, these were the people that were, almost grown when I was a kid. With my first cousins, I am the oldest, and I don't ever remember us having issues like that. But anyway, and all of this stuff is going out right now about racism and all of that. And people don't want to admit that the racism that hit slavery hit the slaves so hard that they began to project those thoughts onto their children. And their children projected those thoughts onto their children, and their children, and their children. So at the end of it all, white people from this moment forward can stop being racist. But that racism that beat those slaves, that put down those slaves, that, oppressed those people will live on forever. And what brought this to my attention is a comment that I just read on YouTube about a girl who's mixed with a whole bunch of different white races, French, German, and all of that, and black. And she said that she always hated the black side of her and wanted to bleach her skin. And then now she's engaged to a white man and he's made her embrace her blackness and feel beautiful. And it's like, so you had to get a white man's approval to be black, basically. Ugh. I was just disgusted by that. Because, like I said, I hated myself for a long time. Didn't really look in the mirror, never realized anything good about myself, didn't even notice how long my hair was because to everybody else it was not long enough. It wasn't good enough. It wasn't nothing. Until I became a teenager. Around 15 or 16, I started looking at myself. I started loving myself. I started appreciating myself for me and whatever I was, whatever I had, whatever I didn't have. I made the shit work. They didn't want to buy me new clothes or they didn't want to buy me this. They didn't want that. I'd get some donations from church, some needles, some thread, some scissors, and I'd make the shit work because I began to love me for me, regardless of what they saw. And I think that that's important and that where it starts with. But as black people, we can't sit here anymore and blame all of the oppression and racism that we feel today on white people. We can because that's the root of it, but we can't because we're the ones that's choosing to pass it down. Like I said, my grandmother used to pinch my nose. She claimed it was slimming it because it was too wide for her. She suggested after I had my kids that I start pinching my daughter's nose. Oh, I got so pissed off. Because there's nothing wrong with my daughter's nose. And that's what I wanted my daughter to know. My daughter went through this, oh, I want to look like Hannah Montana thing. And I'm like, why? It's nothing wrong with you. It's nothing wrong with how you look. It's nothing wrong with your hair. I don't put fake hair in my daughter's hair. I braid their hair. I comb their hair. I let them know that they're beautiful the way that they are, just like Hannah Montana is beautiful the way she is. When Hannah Montana don't even look like that. Hannah Montana is a girl who wears a wig. So for somebody else to come and try to pass that on to my kids, that was my job to stop it right there. Stop it with me. It's not going to my daughters. No more. Regardless of where my grandmother got it from, she got it from her mother, who got it from, the slave master or whoever. It's stopping with me. Stopping with me. Like my youngest daughter's father told me when I was pregnant with her, oh, he hoped when she's born she's not dark skinned. So why are you having kids with a dark skinned woman? You got lucky the first time, and our first child together, is more of your complexion. But it's like, no, no, we are doing this to ourselves. They don't have to do it anymore. They don't, because we're doing it now. So all they got to do is sit back and laugh. But it's not funny to me. And it's stopping with me in my family. I can't say what my siblings are going to do with their kids or my first cousins are going to do with their children, but this is not going down with my kids. It's not. Have a good day.